And here we go.
What is going on, everybody? My name is Mike from the Super Wheeler Bros, and we are back with another review of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D, the 4th season, and this time we are taking on episode number 19 entitled All the Madam's Men. So let's get right into it. We got, once again, another crazy good episode. I, of course, don't need to sit here and talk about how great it's been all season long, but it has been. It's been spectacular. So why don't we just get right into breaking down the episode. Bakshi came back in a really entertaining role this week where he plays a media member who is just basically Hydra's #1 hype man. He gets out there and he just feeds the community and the public just lie after lie. Whatever Hydra wants, he just puts it out there and tries to turn the public's sentiment against the resistance and against everything that Hydra doesn't want as far as like Inhumans and the resistance and the Patriot and just complete and utter garbage. And it was really, really entertaining, especially right at the end of the episode when Ward and Daisy put him in his place and he's just so easy to comply. I thought that was a great touch. May is finally back with the program as she helps Daisy escape from the Triskelion, and I thought that the fight choreography in their escape especially, but throughout the episode was really, really well done. And the face-off that they had with Madam Hydra / Ada / Ophelia / who knows at this point, but that was really great. I thought that the fight choreography was really good, and I enjoyed their interaction, especially the bits where Ada was talking about she is the worrier, that being May, Mack is the protector, and Fitz is, of course, a romantic. And that is what has got him in trouble in this world as well, is that he's all over Ada. And he says the line, "I would do anything for you," which is, of course, what he would do for Gemma, as he's crossed time and space in the real world. Speaking of the real world, it seems that they're starting to mix in the tension of what's going on in the real world and Ada and the Russian trying to just get and pinpoint Daisy and Gemma's position so that they can take them out. As Ada explains, it's against their programming to be able to harm those people unless they're a direct threat to the framework, which obviously Daisy and Gemma, having full memories in there, wreaking havoc, definitely are. So they are a liability, which means they can kill them, and it doesn't counteract the programming that Ada and the Russian, Ivanov, are running through their circuits right now, causing them to not do what they want to do, which is take everything over. I love the fact that Ada's endgame has just become so much more clear, with her directing Fitz in the framework to help finish Project Looking Glass, which will make her a real person, instead of just a consciousness that is inside of a robot right now. And I thought that that is just great, that it's self-contained, it's personal, it's selfish, it's different than most megalomaniacs that populate any kind of superhero or any kind of action movie or any kind of movie period. Most of the time, it's a really broad look. They want to take over the world or they want to get all this money. No, Ada just wants to be a real person and not be confined by the constraints of her programming. And I just thought that having this little macro look at a villain is amazing. And the best villains, I've said many times, are the ones that you can understand. And you can certainly understand why Ada wants to feel this way. She wants to feel real instead of a robot, which is what she is. And she knows that. She's aware. I think that the little things in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. are what makes it great. And this episode is no exception. Ward and Coulson have an exchange early in the episode that just had so many little tidbits in there that was awesome. From Coulson really starting to take a leadership role and becoming who he really is, and telling his tale about how he could have chosen to become a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent when they came calling for him, but he didn't. And then Ward telling the story about how he didn't think that he had anything left. And then a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent approached him and it was Victoria Hand. And I thought that that was just such a nice touch, as obviously the real Grant Ward murdered Victoria Hand. And I just thought that just those little nuggets are just really, really good. As is Daisy's smirk when Coulson gives a very Coulson-like quip right at the end. I just thought that just those minor things just always elevate Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and they've done that all year long, and it's really, really awesome. Tripp and Gemma have a really great arc this episode as well. It's a really small one, but it's really, really important because Tripp and Gemma are able to locate and discover where Project Looking Glass is being completed. The only issue is it's being done in the real world, not in the framework, obviously. So they know where they need to go to save their friends and to destroy Project Looking Glass to stop Ada. However, they have to somehow make it out of the framework in order to do so. This is coupled with the fact that they have to get out of there because at the end of the episode, in the stinger, we obviously find out that Ivanov and Ada have discovered the location of where Daisy and Simmons are tapped into the framework. And of course, Tripp believes Gemma when she tells him that everything is not real because shoot, girl, because it's just too crazy of a story for her to make up. I love Tripp, and I'm so glad he's back. He's just a welcome presence. BJ Britt is awesome. And of course, Mack is just the rock. He's the driving force, he's the calming force, and he's just the steady hand. He's usually not got his emotions up too high or too low at this point, and I just love the way that he interacts with everybody. It's just great. May and Coulson have an exchange at the end of the episode as well, and it's pretty touching, actually, and just because they built so much time, you know, and so much backstory with them this season, and spent so much time building that relationship and what it could eventually become, and they ripped it away from you right in the middle of the season, and just to get a little bit of that back was a really, really welcome presence. Fitz has finally completed Project Looking Glass, and his request for Ada to take him with him brings up a whole lot of questions, and it is really intriguing to me. I mean, can you take someone's consciousness from the framework and put it in a completely new body that looks exactly like they do in their mind, like Ada's trying to do for herself? Or can you take someone's consciousness from the framework and replace that consciousness in one of our team's bodies that Ada is holding captive? There are so many questions that can be raised. I mean, can Tripp and Ward be brought back into this world? There's no telling right now. And I love that mystery. It's really what's keeping the back end of this season alive. I thought that Ward had, surprisingly, the best arc of the episode. And it really does break your heart a little bit as he realizes that Daisy's just not going to get past what the other Grant Ward did in the real world. And his misdeeds are not allowing for anyone to see Grant Ward in this world for who he really is. I think the most heartbreaking part about that is when he realizes that he's not going to be returning with Daisy, and that his sincerity when he truly conveys how much it would kill him if she thought that he was anything like that Grant Ward. And it was a really touching moment. And Daisy returning a little glimmer of hope where she basically tells Ward that she never truly understood him until she met the Framework Ward, and there really was good in him all along. And I thought the line where he says, "When you go back, will I get my Skye back?" It sucks, man. I think it just makes you really sad to think that characters like Tripp and Ward and Mack's daughter, they're not going to be coming back. And it's really actually kind of heartbreaking because obviously these characters bring so much to the show and just bring a different dynamic. And I think especially losing Tripp was a really huge misstep, and I thought that bringing him back here was awesome. And having this Grant Ward where he's still edgy when he was more interesting, but having him be, I don't know, just more part of the team and just being the Grant Ward that kind of started out at the beginning, but obviously having a little bit more personality and just showing a little more depth on his character, it's a shame to lose them, and I guess I should feel fortunate that they're back at all, but it really sucks that they're not going to be around. It does. Coulson's speech to end the episode was absolutely pitch perfect. I loved every second of that. It definitely gave me the feels. It definitely just inspired me, almost, you know what I mean? And the look on Ward's face when he finds out that people are there not to fight against them, but to fight with them, I just thought that it was a perfect way to end the episode. It really gave it some pathos, and I really can't ask for much more from this show, and this episode was amazing. If I'm gonna score this week's episode of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., All the Madam's Men, I'm going to give it, once again, a 10 out of 10. Like I said, I'm not going down until they show me a reason to go down, which they haven't done yet. They have continued their excellent trajectory, and it's only getting more interesting, and I cannot wait to see what happens over the next 3 episodes. There's only 3 left, and it's going to get even crazier. As I mentioned earlier, Ada has a lock on Daisy and Simmons' position, so it really is going to be a race against time to see exactly what happens and who gets to where they need to be first. Tell me what you guys thought of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review and you want to see more and all of the rest of the segments on our channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. My name is Mike from the Super Wheeler Bros, and as always, my friends, have yourselves a super week.